For keeping it KBC Channel 1. Yes, we are just about to have an important conversation that will take you down memory lane in this particular country as we trace the journey of a powerful woman who has played an active role in the leadership of this particular country. She is a former nominated senator and member of parliament, and also chaired one of the biggest women movements in the country during its pioneer days. I'm talking about Maendeleo Ya Wanawake. She is a philanthropist and also somebody who has played a pivotal role in the world of entrepreneurship. We are going to be sinking into her world to understand what she's doing now, about 4 years since she retired from active politics. I'm talking about none other than Hon Zipporah Kittony. Thank you so much for having us. And you do not look like your age, you know. I just discovered you're 78.
Oh no, I'm not even 78 now. I think I've passed that.
Past 78?
Yes, so I'm waiting for a month to go to be 79. So I'm hoping that God will give me the grace to see 79 in a month's time.
All right.
So I want to say thank you very much, Serfine, for visiting me. Thank you for discovering I came to hide here for a very good purpose, because I think I deserve to say I have served this country with a lot of passion and with a lot of satisfaction, and it took me a while to decide on retirement. Right. So I took my retirement in 2017, and I came home. And I've been coming home even when I was in active public life, because I like upcountry.
If you were to write a book about yourself, how would you title it?
Well, my book is hopefully coming out very soon. And I have mentioned quite a number of things that I've achieved. I think I would be right if I say I am a first in almost everything, because I'm a first to venture. First and foremost, I never went to university class, but I have made myself to be where I am, reading through extra curriculums before, because when I grew up, basically from my home, there were no schools in Rift Valley for girls to further up their education. We only had one girls' school, that is the Kapsabet girls. And so me coming from Baringo, which was closed district, was a lot of disadvantage. We were in a closed district, and if you don't get number 1 to number 4, you can count yourself out. You just either remain to be a trained teacher or go for nursing. Those are the options at that time. And then after that, I didn't go to Kapsabet for further. I went to Kapsabet standard 1 to 8, and that was it. And then I had to do teacher training. Then I had to do, I taught first as a trained teacher, and then I went for training. And that is my life. So whatever I've gotten as my PhD, which you will see in the house when you're taking pictures later on, is my hard work through my own initiative to learn. So my book will have a lot of stories right from my childhood to what I am. We're very, very good Christians. So we were 12 of us in my home. We were brought up very well in a Christian manner, very well disciplined. And we were 9 sisters, 3 brothers. I never saw any discrimination among my siblings. I owe a lot to my parents, and I owe a lot to the Christianity that was instilled in me. It really changes somebody's character to make you what you are supposed to be.
I want to know the Zipporah, the young girl in that village in Baringo County. Tell us a bit about your life when you were a small girl. And, you know, did you ever occur to you that you would be who you are today during those days?
Well, I would say I was maybe kind of privileged than the others, because we came from this Christian family. But the rest of the age mates that we grew up together lived a different lifestyle. Of course, they were nicknaming us to be the better ones, educated ones, Kipsukulin, those who went to school, because we were able to go to Sunday school, and my other elder siblings went to school. They had gone to school. I'm number 5 in the family. So they looked at us as a different people. We also looked at them as different people. But there were 1 or 2 qualities that I liked. The age group. Every other year there is an age group when you are at the age of 10 to 12. There is a lot of singing around, scenarios, and people, when the girls were being circumcised with the boys, you hear those songs, you want to be there. Yeah. But of course my parents would not allow us to mix. So there was that kind of a segregation. And so we realized we were not exactly the same as them, and they were not exactly like us. So I attempted once, and it's in my book, that I wanted to join them also to test the circumcision. I was thoroughly thrashed. I was given a proper beating, and I'll never forgotten up to now. And I came to realize as years go by, as when I got married, I got my children, that my parents were right. Because when I was in Maendeleo, I championed the advocacy of FGM, and that is how it has been made law in this country, because of the harmful traditions that come with it.
Let's talk about your father, who hosted the late Mzee Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi during his days as a young boy. I mean, tell us about that friendship, that early friendship with the country's second president, and what you remember of him.
Okay, my mother was among the first women Christians who went to the missionary school in Kabartonjo. And in Kabartonjo there were 12, and the 12 of them got married in one day. But they had the missionaries, the Musungu missionaries, had to choose them the suitors. So among these 12 girls, my mother was one of them. But my mother trekked from their home called Kasisit in North Baringo to the mission school in Kabartonjo. And reaching Kabartonjo, she stayed in the school. And then they brought this young man, I think at the end of the age of 8, young man who lost his mother, and a late missionary who was very close with the missionaries called Stefano Chepkonga, very famous missionary too, is passed on, brought this boy from Sacho. So when this boy got to the school, he was too small to be molested by the big boys. So he was taken to the girls' dorm and became very close to my late mother. So she was staying with the girls, doing everything like the girls. And when my mother now got her suitor, he asked the missionaries to be allowed to go with this young boy to their home, to her new home. Of course, the missionaries did not, since being an orphan, did not refuse. That's the story we were told. Because when I grew up, I remember seeing Mzee very vividly and very well, and Mzee was climbing trees at home, shaking through fruits called soget in Kalenjin, for us to pick like what you see now, this. So yes, this is, and we would eat it. This is Mzee, and right, himself.
So you used to play
dropping them. So we would eat it. So I remember very well. So it became part. It was part. When I grew up, I didn't know it was different, but we were one until he passed on.
Yeah. There's a picture that is very common of you. You were watching his body as it lied in state and in parliament, and you became very emotional in that moment. I want to know what was going on through your mind.
I didn't accept that he's gone. I became very emotional because of the support that I got, especially when I was in Maendeleo. Whenever I had an issue with the women or whatever, the women wanted something, I go to him. He will never say no. He was a very good listener. He was very passionate about women, and therefore he gave a lot of his support for women. And that is why the women of Kenya are where they are, because of him.
Tell us a bit about your career before politics.
I got married in 1962 to Mr. Kittony, sleeping there. And after my wedding, we were teaching in the same school together with him. He got a job with KTDA in Kericho and Kangaita. So we relocated to Kericho. And when we got to Kericho, I got my second child, and I got a new job with the World Assembly, with the Family Planning Association of Kenya in social work and field work. And I did that job as a field officer until 1970. He was relocated again, he was transferred, he got a promotion to head office, and we moved to Nairobi, and we lived in Lavington. By the way, I got 3 children, and my children were the first African children to go to a primary school for Europeans in Kericho Primary. My son Kibet went to school, his Colonel Kittony went to school as a standard 1. And I remember him coming home crying, and he says he's not going back to school. I said, why? Because they have called him, why he's a monkey in our class.
He was different.
So he was the first African child. So he felt that he was being discriminated. By the time Zungus were going back, of course. And so after Kericho, we moved to Nairobi. So I got another job with the World Assembly of Youth, which is a UN youth body. At that time, the Youth Assembly of Youth was advocating for self-independence and self-supporting of young people. So I did that job from 1971 to 1976. And I became the regional manager as well. And it took me to traverse all over the world, advocating on youth work and making resolutions for young people around the world until it was adopted by the General Assembly in September 1974 at the General Assembly.
How did this shape you into your entry into politics?
When we went to be a politician from our home, I got very inspired. And I followed what he was doing all through. And I stayed with them anyway as I was growing up. When he got married, I stayed in their home. So I got inspired. And so anyway, I think even my late mother was a councillor. So I think there is also politics. And my late brother also was a politician. So I think the politics is in the family.
It's in the DNA somewhere.
Yes, it's just there.
So 1988, you get into parliament as a nominated member of parliament. There were not many women in leadership at that particular time. Tell us about that transition and how it was like being in parliament.
I think when I went into the parliament, first my nomination, we were only 9 women in. Not like when Grace Onyango went in, she was the first woman. I don't know whether you know that. It is good for women, and it is good for history to be maintained and to be kept, that even women also needs a record keeping of their track record of what they've done. And that's why I've decided to write my own story. So we were 9 women, and Mother Karua and I interacted, and we became very good friends, and we served in one committee. One thing you must know, that we were not allowed to take a handbag into the chamber.
What?
Yes, a woman would not take
a handbag. Is like the second side of a woman.
Right.
How do you leave your handbag behind?
And they suspect that we could carry things.
Why?
So one day we asked, what about the men? Who knows what they carry in these pockets they have? Could he not carry a pistol here or in the jacket of his coat? So eventually it has been overruled that you can go in with your handbag. Secondly, I think there was an interruption in parliament one afternoon when a member of parliament, I don't remember the name, saying, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to know whether Honorable Zipporah Kittony is in order to come to the house wearing trousers. You are not supposed to wear trousers as a woman. So we have broken so many notes in the house.
Yeah.
So the speaker, it took a hot debate, I wanted to get embarrassed, but I got very courageous.
You knew you're not supposed to wear trousers.
Yes, but I deliberately, I broke many rules. I said, "Hata hiyo ya handbag tutabadilisha." So the speaker eventually ruled and said she's in order. So there was a lot of thumb.
Yeah.
And life goes on, and that was the life in Parliament, and I enjoyed it immensely.
What would you term as your biggest achievement during those days as a member of Parliament, as a nominated member of Parliament, and even when you got nominated into Senate?
I put on the referral, the motion on erosion, and it was passed into law. So that was my achievement. Yes.
Let's talk about women and leadership in this country. You have been in that journey, trying to become even a member of Parliament. Tell us about how this country has treated women leadership. Do you think there is that deliberate effort to support women who want to be leaders, such as yourself in those days?
Women have a right, like anybody else, in vying for any position. But what I want to tell women is to remain a woman and a mother, whatever position you are in. You have the quality, but you got to carry yourself with a lot of integrity and decorum that it deserves you to be given back what you are. Women misuse the positions because when they get into that power, I think we allow a lot of heirs to grow, which I said no. You should remain as a woman, and because the laws have been put in place after Beijing, that there is no more discrimination among women.
This is where I decorate you. You're sitting there, I would say, Honorable Zipporah Kittony, CBS, MBS, OGW, and also you were recognized globally and earned an award, the American Biographical Institute Women of the Year Award in 1999. I mean, this must have been such an experience for you. Tell us a bit about, being decorated to that particular level.
Jeffrey, I believe in believing in yourself first and foremost. And when you do something, do it to the best of your ability. And when you do something, do it to the satisfaction of whoever you wanted to do. I will not, let me now tell you this, I will not start anything if I don't see the end. If I know I'm not reached there, I rather not touch it. But anything that I touch with these fingers, God help, that gave me this, I will make sure that I do it to the satisfaction of me and whoever I'm doing for.
It must be a success.
Right.
As long as Zipporah puts her head and her hand in it,
Right.
It has to succeed.
I have to. I don't have a reverse gear.
No two ways about it. You are such a strong woman,
Yes.
so many lessons you learned from you.
And believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, then you have no business. You cannot do anything.
People want to know, where is Zipporah? What is she doing? I mean...
Now, I will take you around the farm. Briefly, I am never idle. And I want to say I thank God for every moment I have gotten here, because my hands are full. We have digressed in the farming here because of the challenges that people got into maize farming. So we have gone to coffee. We export. We have planted coffee. We have planted tea, and we have macadamia, and we have dairy, and also we have gone to hospitality. We have a number of 1 or 2 hotels and a conference facility. I think when you pass by, you saw a conference going on.
And you say it as if it's just a by the way. It's one of the best hotels.
Right.
Around.
We actually want. I said, if I do something, I want to do to the best of my ability. I don't do half. I want the best and the best, top of the range. So that's what makes me wake up early. I do my prayers and I do the farm work, then go to the hospitality and then go around the farm, come back home for lunch. So I'm never idle. I don't even have time. I used to be an avid golfer. But now I don't even have time to play. And since Corona came, we were confined. They say those 60 up, stay home.
Yeah.
So staying home has given me a lot of time to look at this home, critic, do uplifting, what here and there. So I ran around all over. The place is spacious. So I've not been able to play my golf as I used to. Maybe I'm too old now, but I still have my kit. I've had 3 holes in one in golf, and I used to love golf. Every day I leave everything, even my visitors at home, and I go and play.
Nobody can interfere.
But now I am grounded here. But I'm not grounded. I'm enjoying every bit of my time here.
What made you retire, though?
Personal disappointments. When I see women, especially in Parliament, I want to state it very clear that women should remain women and be modest in their way of dressing. Sometimes you see these young women who have come into politics, they want to show it better, that they are better than anybody else. No, still remain what you are supposed to be. I told one young lady one time, no, this is not correct. You know, she really told me off. You're not my mother. If my mother cannot tell me this, who are you to tell me? So I think women should remain a woman and be respectful so that you are respected, but not to overdone what you are not supposed to overdo. Remain a woman of integrity, a woman who can be emulated by your children. I cannot afford to see a woman fighting with another woman. That put me off. Women undressing in the house of law order. No, that really removed me from politics.
So you said you leave it for the next
No,
generation?
I leave it for the next. If that is what is going to happen,
Not
if that is what we fought for,
not for
I
you.
washed my hands off.
And you left.
Yes, I got very, very disappointed and demoralized seeing what my young daughters are doing in the house. So I said, we are not in competition. If I want to remain, to be remembered for what I did, that's what I did to retire.
I'm a great grandmother of 3. And you're telling me you have 15 grandchildren? Tell us a bit
14.
about 14
Yes.
grandchildren.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that and how you're
I have
keeping
a
yourself.
wonderful knitted family. 3 sons and 2 sons and 2 daughters, 1 daughter. And I have my grandchildren. They've all gone to good schools. And I have the great grandchildren, and we love each other very much. Yes.
All right. You have an eye for good things. You shop. You've traveled across the world shopping.
I've traversed the world. Yes.
All right. Yeah, we really appreciate you creating time and just telling us a bit about your journey and how it has shaped the history of this country. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Karibu tena.
Thank you. So that has been